So here we go. I've started the recording. This is our lecture for Design 301. It's Tuesday, October 5th. We are on Google Meet, and this is week 7. Oh my gosh, week 7. Look at that. And we're going to still be working on AutoCAD, but we're going to be talking about dimensioning, and you're going to be applying it. So dimensions all look different depending on what you're trying to show and what discipline you're in. And there's like 4 or 5 pages of little settings. Well, I'm just going to give them to you already set so that you get the idea of how to do it. And then when you're working your own project, we'll go into how to set it up. So you only really have to learn it once, and it's something that's of interest to you. So that's what we're working on. We're working on dimensioning. I'll post the recordings as we get along. I don't think I've got anything in here yet. No. There's no, I'll do my demos and you'll get that. And the resource folder, however, is nice and full. So we've got a plate. You're gonna make it look almost exactly like this, as close to like this as you can. And sometimes it'll work out and sometimes it won't. Like this might not show up in here. It might show up out here. You just have to get that dimension made and fill out some sort of a title block. And the nice thing is I've given you a file that has the drawing in it. You're just going to have to put the dimensions on it. And same with this one here. You've got a file, but you have to put the annotations and dimensions on it. And here's a file, and you'll have to put the annotations. And notice, they all look different, but they're all using about the same tools. These ones are text and leaders and some dimensions, and the others are text and leaders with some dimensions. And here's one, and I didn't give you this exact same file. I gave you a somewhat simplified one because some people want to draw this as one of their special projects. So I don't want to give you the whole thing. I gave you a representative sample of this. And you'll do a representative sample of getting these dimensions on. And then the last one is this little architectural gazebo thing. And again, I gave it to you. And I'm not sure these dimensions all match up. I took a student's drawing and threw it in here because I didn't feel like redrawing it. So we'll see. If that student really did a really nice drawing, it's going to come out really close to this. And if there were some problems, you'll dimension whatever is there. Okay? So that's what's up. And you get the file to work with each time. So you have all those, because I'm the nicest instructor that you've ever met, I'm sure. Just think, does Mark Reese make your welding settings for you? No, he makes you do them. But I'm nicer than him because I give you the stuff to work with. Anyway, our productivity one is about keyboard shortcuts, and these are for everybody. And I loved this one. Look at that. Make your hands like this and then hit those 4 things. That's a keyboard. And it's almost like that. Some are hard and some are easy. And sometimes they're not worth it. But when you do need a keyboard shortcut and you need to go fast, it's really good to know. Like instead of hitting the line button, you can just type L enter, and then you're into it. So here's the list, and it's right here. So click. This is from AutoCAD. Here's, shortcut keys that you can do that are single letter keys. and some of the toggles up here on the function keys. And then here's the control keys. Here's the control plus some numbers for the screen. General features, the screen, the drawings, modes, workflow. Oh my gosh. And here's all of them. So now our dean, Gary Aguilar, he used to be a professor with us. He knew all these. He knew every command and shortcut from probably 1986 on. I'm just going to ask you to find three of them that suit your fancy, right? And maybe you want the line command, the offset command, the circle command, the circle radius command. And you can just go and click to these and figure it out. And so you'll just pick three and just tell us why you think they'll be useful. Oh, I use that because it's a command that I have to look around for. Or I like that because it's easier to get to with a shortcut. Or I like that because I like to type instead of click. Whatever your reason. So this one's a fairly straightforward one, but I really just wanted to pick these two GIFs because I like them. That's why we did this one. So there it is. And then for this week, you're just going to do plates 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And quite frankly, I think it won't take you very long. So then if you get done, I've given you the drawings. It might be that since this is a quick and easy one, you might want to go and practice trying to make the drawings yourself. I'm not going to require it. I'm not going to grade it. But you'll see that that's one of the things that I do, that sometimes I take it a little bit easy and then I give you extra practice for those of you who want to and are able to. So this thing that I've highlighted here, do some extra practice, reproduce these 5 drawings, just see if you can and see if you're able to, if you feel like it. You're going to have plenty of opportunity to draw in the second half of the semester. Okay, so then what have we got here? We've got the template. Make sure this is still working over here. Yes, it is. Good. I had to get onto the Art New Media one. So I was going to open up a new template. So you're all pretty familiar by now. Here it is. Just a little bit of stuff to do on here. And it's just show me your dimensioned work. Add the dimensions, add the dimensions, add the dimensions, add the dimensions, and add the dimensions. So just do the best you can, and you're going to follow the dim style. You want it to look like that. Your dimensions, because of whose file I picked to use and all that kind of stuff, might be a little bit different, or I might have set you up with some slightly different dim styles. So here we go. I'm gonna do the first couple of them. So the first thing to do is to open. First, well, you have to download the files, which I've already done. Here they are. So I'll do this plate number 1. And I have to make sure done my thing. Need that to say inches. And I need my units are in inches. That's good. I'm going to turn off my line weights. So you have this drawing. And so the goal is to put in a title block, make this drawing show up, and put your dimensions on it. So remember that if I open my resource drawing, or actually this one was my drawing from here. And there's a few things I can do. I can highlight this stuff, right click, clipboard, copy, and go to a layout, clipboard, paste, and there's my title block. Voila! So that's one way to do it, and that's the easy way to do it. So I'll just show you that way for right now. Okay, and then you can, there's your name. You can double click plate 1. You can even say week 7 if you want. Plate 1. So now I'll save this. File, save as, plate 1. Not the template anymore. My file. I don't know my scale yet, but I do know that today is 09/05/21. Okay. Let's see. Do I have a def points layer? Yes. So here's how I get this done now. I go to the def points layer because I know that that one will not print. And I go to my little layout tool and I put in a rectangular layout viewport. And I'll fill up as much as I can. There it is. It showed up. How cool is that? And then I have to click this paper button to make it go to the model, and then my scale factor comes up. And in general, we want to use normal, well-defined scale factors. So it's almost 1:1. So let me pick 1:1. And that looks pretty good. If it's like you like it and placed where you want it, you can also lock it so you don't accidentally mess it up later on. And then go back to your piece of paper. So that was all about making your drawings show up on your title block. And I just did something good, so I'm going to save it, particularly since I know that VMware is having some issues today. And now when I come down here, double click, 1 equals, go to the end, 1. There. Now I have to put my dimensions on. Let's see. Annotate my dimensions. Now look, this says XX none. I need to make it look right. And I think most of that had 2 decimal places. But I can put them on, and even if I need some others, I can get some more. So let's see. I'd better make this a little bit smaller so that I can see what it's supposed to look like. There we go. There. Now I can see what I'm supposed to do. And see how that says 0.40. That's the 2XX. 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places. These are all 2 decimal places. So that's what I'm going to use. And it's already loaded in here. So I'm just going to make sure my little dimension window is choosing the one I want. 2 decimal places. And then you can do fast dimension, but I like to pick it out. And these are linear, straight line dimensions. And I'll show you if, oh, and it's going to be on the dimension layer. So I should pick what layer I want it to be on. Now there's a few things that I'd like you to do. These should line up if possible. You should always try to make things line up nicely in a mechanical drawing. So if that one said 0.4, this one should say 0.4, and I'll just get down to where they line up. See how I found the endpoint? So now I know that those two line up. And now I can get my next two. And I like to be somewhat even about it. So I'm going to click, and I've got my endpoints listed on. And we'll talk about what all these mean at another time. And then my next one says 0.4. And again, I want it to line up. There we go. And notice that I'm clicking at the end of the line so that I get a little break there. I'll show you what I mean by that. If I click here and drag it over, my lines cross and it just looks ugly, and it makes it hard to read. So I want to make sure that I get the farthest out portion of a line. And I took away too much, obviously. And we'll talk a lot later on about why you dimension to one place and what they're for and all sorts of other stuff. That's how you get going on it. So I've done some good work. I'm going to say save. Let me try to get this weird angle thing. That's an angular dimension. And I just need to click. And it looks like it's fitting in here okay. May or it may not for you. Like, that would be okay too. Nothing wrong with doing that. As a matter of fact, many people would like that better than having it down here. Okay, so now here we go. And so I'm going to demonstrate. Now, don't worry about this line. It's not going to show up when you do your print preview, because that's on a def points layer. So let's go back to a straight one now and pick from here to here. And look, my number came out on the right because I went from left to right. Now let me go from right to left. Comes out on the other side. So that's a cool thing to know. If I click on it, I can grab the grip, click, and move it to the middle, which looks a little cramped, or move it to the side. So I do have some control over it. Let me get a couple more on here. And I try to make it about as even as I do over here. Other programs snap into place a little bit more readily than do these. Now, I'll let you know that this view over here is a useless view, and in a well done drawing, it would not be there. But we sort of in DT 301 decided that it gives you the idea of the orthographics pretty well. So we decided to put it over there for teaching purposes, even though it doesn't really look like a good standard. And at some point, we'll be able to talk about what am I seeing there. Okay, so now I need this one. And usually you ended up sort of where one of these ones would end up. So now my first level in here is from here to here. And I'm going to show you. This is kind of ugly right here, even though it shows it over here. But there's this cool thing that says break, this one, and that one. Is that the coolest thing? I love that. Makes my drawing look nice. And you would not believe in hand drafting how many times I accidentally went across a line and then I had to do a bunch of erasing. And it was, yeah. So that's good. So now my next one is over here, 0.4. So I got to get, it doesn't know where I want it, so I have to get it about right. And then I'm going to drag my cursor over, and that's going to set my height. And that's because I've got my show snapping reference lines on. And my next one is this depth. Oh, and I can see that I want this 0.4 to be on the other side because I need to line up my other one right in here. And that looks horrible. I would never know what that's saying. So I'm going to move it over to make it cleaner. That looks a lot better. So that looks okay. Now I just need my overall length. And I do this a little bit quicker and easier because I've done this a million times. There we go. That's coming out okay. I don't have too many more. I've got my opening. And again, I want it to line up nicely. And then I've got to line up with this one. And it's in a funny place. I can put that in the middle. And I have this other one. This is a weird dimensioning. But it does all work. So there we go. Oh, it should say bracket. Double click. Bracket. Got it. So I got to save. Print. Or print. And it's called plot. I'll do a single sheet. And here's a few things. In general, we plot in grayscale for a mechanical one. I'm going to plot the layout, but I have to pick a plotter. And I'm going to do Adobe PDF, AutoCAD to PDF. And I didn't log into PDF on here, so it's going to have a problem. But I can at least do this part of it. And it's okay if it's not centered up. I can take my snip and do all the stuff that I'm supposed to do. I don't have to plot it. I ended up with my little thing in the middle there. There we go. And I'll save this. There. That's it. I don't need to plot it. I just did okay. So, save. There's my plate 1. Any questions on that yet? Pretty straightforward, I think. Okay. So there's my plate 1. And what's my next one? Let me open plate 2. Template. Oh, this one's weird looking. Uh-oh. Did I leave everything on my template? Put the wrong one on there. That's no good. Well, here's what my instructions are going to be. Erase all that. That's how it's supposed to be. That was goofball. I hope I didn't do that on all the other ones. Okay. So there we go. So you'll fill all this stuff out again. Here's my plate 2 template. So this is just very typical. What's a hip and what's a ridge and what's a valley. And it's just getting used to doing some text, right? So DT, have to be over here. So most of this is text. Text, DT. That one should say ridge. And that one should say ridge. That's what they are. Now check this one out. I'm going to do my DT. I'll start right here. And I'll go 1/8 inch tile and I'll go minus 45 degrees. Because I know those are all 45-degree angles. And that one should say hip. And I can copy those. Oh, but that one was a valley, not a hip. So if you need to change it, you just type valley. This one is plus 45 degrees. I'll get it right. DT. And copy. Like I said, I'm a typer. Now, you do need to learn how to do these ones right here. So that's 2 feet. So that's back into my annotate. And it's architectural scale factor 1. That's the one that I want. So I'll put my dimension from And I'm going to go perpendicular. I'll just drag it down someplace. There we go. And I probably should put it down a little farther, but that's okay. And this is wall below. So that's a multi-leader. I'll pick the nearest point on the line. And that's okay. That should not show up because I think it's on the depth points layer. Yep. I don't care that that line goes through there. Hey, I'm going to move this down. It looks just a little goofy. That's better. How about these arrows? I did an arrow once before, so now we'll get to see one again. It's a polyline. You just draw, W. There we go. You're going to just draw a regular line with a width of 0. And then you'll do another polyline with the W width command, starting at 0, enter, and ending up at, I don't know, 5. I'll get it right. Polyline. Start at the end with a width of 0 and 0.5 and going to there. Now it's just a matter of copying them and just noticing where stuff goes. So copy, copy. And I need one in each segment. And I try to get things lined up. Now we get to do the rotate command. That one goes 180. If I set these for 45s, multiples of 45, I'll get right on it. There. There we go. There. And you can change these if you want them to be thinner or whatever, right? How do you do them all at once? Click. Oops. Click. Yep. Right click properties. And there's probably going to be something down here with an ending thickness. There should be. Not giving me an ending thickness. So I have to do p-edit multiple can do it that way. So I'll do the ones that I can see right now, just so that you can see the difference. Width. That's interesting. It's only letting me do... Yes, I can't edit those easily. Might have to do them one at a time. Yes, I got to do them one at a time. That's the beauty of AutoCAD. If something looks wrong, you get to go back and fix it. There we go. Got it. And I'll let you fill this in all properly, right? It has to have a name and all that kind of stuff. But I'll do a save as now. Like 2. And it's really a roof plan, but that's okay. And I can do my plot, continue to plot, make it grayscale, and there we go. Now I can take my snip, there. That's number 2. So far, so good. Been able to do them both, except I gave you the template with that on it. I'll go take that off shortly. So the last one for today would be plate 3. And let's take a look at this. Wow, that one's going to be something else. Look at all the stuff on there. So I'm going to demo a few things, but not all of them. I'm going to do the easy, cheesy ones, and then I'll let you do your stuff. So first off, you should know there's supposed to be a little dot on each corner. We talked about that. So I'll put it on the thin layer, and I'll do the donut command. And the inside will be 0, probably 0.18 as the outside. There we go. And now on my dimension layer, I need to dimension to the building pad and then the size of the building pad. I know a lot of people do their dimensioning right from over here. I'm just very used to going to the dimensioning bar. And so these are actually architectural. No, they're I think they're this mechanical XX none. Let's just find out. Yep. I don't know why it says mechanical. Really civil. I've got that one in there, and then I do a linear from somewhere in here. Perpendicular, maybe. snapped out there, so I got to bring it back into place. Now look, these ones say feet at the end of it. I'm going to have to do that, and I'm going to do that with my properties, I think. Should be something down here that says suffix. Put the foot symbol in. Oh, isn't that too cool? Put the foot symbol in for me. And those ones need the foot symbol too. Dimension suffix. So that's how you get those ones on there. Those were some important ones that I wanted to show right off the bat for today. And maybe I'll do this one too. That's a leader. And it says EL period 26 feet. So the elevation right there, and I got to get it right, it should be capital EL 26 with the foot symbol. And the thing to know about this is that these ones should try to line up too, if you can. EL period 25. So there's a little bit more to do. Oh, let me put this one on here. Let me show you how to do site new construction. I find those on something called my tool palettes. And I could draw it all out, but it's already done for me. TP, I just typed it in. Tool palette. And I go, I think it's under annotation. And there it is. Drawing title Imperial. Hold my mouse down, drag it into place. Double click. View title is site. New construction. Oh, those should have been caps. And my view number is 1. And my scale is 1 to 20. And it's 1 inch on my piece of paper is 20 feet in the real world. That's all okay, but it's too short. So I have to drag this little arrow out. That's so cool. It does that for me. The next one is this call out, the section call out. I'm just going to click it into place. And if I click on it, I can flip it around the other way. And I think I can rotate it. Is that too cool? There's so many good pre-made things in here. And that would be used as an example to show if there were a swale or some sort of feature over here in the ground you would want to see. Everything else I think you can kind of figure out. This little cross, you can just draw it, and who knows exactly where it is. And there's on the annotate, there's this thing called center mark. You can center mark and put a note that says preserve the tree. So that's how you do that one. This is just a leader. These are just text like you've done before. That's about it. Text. Text. Oh, new foundation. That's just text. So that's how you do this one. So again, I'll do a save as. Three. And I'll print it. So I think, watch, I can do, oh no, I can't do previous. Huh. There we go. There we go. Okie dokie. So that does a lot for you. That's three of them. That sort of gets you moving along. Any questions? I'll do the last two on Thursday. All right, and I'm stopping the recording.